Welcome, I'm Chris McKean.
And I'm Andy Kiner.
We're all about cross-country racing, and normally it starts with 10 seconds.
Normally. But this is Iowa. In Iowa, Chris, we start with hands-on helmets. Yes. Maybe I should change that. Not hands-on helmets. Officially needs to be palms-on helmets. We're getting a little too carried away with this deal.
Hey, it still works, man.
I know. So we're going to go with palms-on helmets. So palms helmets.
Can't change it now.
We got to do it now or never.
We'll see. Oh, big podcast. Sorry we're a little late. Trying to help out Toby. Toby, if you're listening, I think you're in the background there still. No mic or camera. So some difficulties here in the background we're working through. But yeah. It was all hyped up for this podcast, man. And if anybody listened to your live, probably a half hour ago, it kind of drained all my positive energy out, man.
Yeah, I've been doing it for about an hour now. Definitely not happy about it. So unfortunately, I'd like to get all the other stuff out first, so I don't put a drain on that, but it's love to see Toby get on here. If we can't get Toby, we'll maybe do a special one with him. But Vanderpool Construction, I was talking with Toby the other day when I was talking about the series. 70 years, Chris. 70 years they've been in business now. So we're gonna have to get.
Is that 4 generations?
4 generations. Nope, 4 now. Yep. That's pretty darn cool. So we'd love to get him on to talk about the company like that. There's hardly anybody that's, kept a business going that long as a family deal, and pretty special. They got a lot on their plate with a lot of employees and stuff like that, but they always find time to, really participate in the community projects and stuff. And they've helped us for many years now. We can't thank them enough. So hopefully Toby can get on here, but if he can't, we'll reschedule and maybe do a special one next week or something with him and get him on here for sure. So
yeah,
but hopefully maybe Cade can get over there and help him. Cade's been on here before, hasn't he?
We've had Cade and Alec on, not on the podcast, but I believe we've had them on for the AA meeting last year.
Oh, that's right. Yep. So maybe they can buzz over and help him and still get him on. I wonder if our other guest would happen to be ready. Maybe we could slip him in a little early.
Yep, I'll shoot a message. But yeah, I thought we would just go ahead and talk about round 1. I mean, we kind of went over it. Maybe even get some updates. You've been kind of busy over the weekend back at Corridon. Left something there personally. Maybe you should put a reward out for.
Yeah, just got back from there trying to find it and no go. So we're a little late getting going there. But yeah, we've been to Corridon the last 3 weeks. Done a lot of cutting, a lot of trimming. It's looking really good on the one side road, but we haven't been on the other side yet. So we still got to get a skid down there. Somehow we've got to make about 4 crossings. We still got quite a bit of work to do, but the hard part's done, I think. So it's going to be really cool. But yeah, Trenton coming up here.
Yeah.
Vanderpool Construction, obviously the title sponsor for it. And that is not this weekend, but the following weekend. So we have all the plans to be down there at least one day.
Mm-hmm.
I've got, hopefully we can find some help, maybe down around that area to slip by and maybe help a little bit. But we're really going down to focus. We'll be racing the track backwards this year, which if you've ever done that before, that creates it's a whole different track when you race it backwards, and different challenges and stuff. And, but we're going to go down there and just basically clean the track. They've had a lot of 70-mile-an-hour winds and some big storms and stuff. And we're going to get down there and just do some chainsaw and anything that's on the track and get it cleared off. And that'll really help out for the guys helping. So and we just keep getting nothing but bad news, it seems like. We got good news with some sponsors this week, so that was really cool last couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to put our prayers out right now to David. It's Joe Lutz, his wife, Melinda. Her brother isn't doing very well right now in the hospital. I know they're with him, and there's a chance that they may not be at the first race now because of the situation, and they need to be there at home. So hopefully we see him, but if they can't make it, our prayers are with them. And both Joe and Melinda do a lot for the series and helping out and stuff. So they'll be greatly missed, but under the circumstance, they're going to be right where they need to be. So,
yeah.
So it's going to be tough. We got to get track laid out, everything. And then Joe's like a one-man show. He goes out there and pack him out. What's that?
I'm going to go ahead and bring him on since we actually got her to work there. Toby.
Hey.
Welcome, Toby.
How we doing?
Nothing but the last second, right?
Yeah.
I thought I had it all set up, but it was not clicking in through the other one. I have the camera on. I've got two screens here.
Well, this is probably a new one for you, Toby. I'm sure all of your construction work and everything just goes exactly like it's planned, right?
Yes. Yeah. Look up in the dictionary what construction stands for, and it's change.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep. Weather or a lot of different things can come into play for you guys.
Yeah. Today we were working in Eldora for a new fairway store going in, and getting ready to do the sewer, and the main was 2 foot higher than the pipe that we were putting in. So that's going to be a big change. Found out it was Orangeburg, and that the sewer had been dead for hundreds of years.
Huh. Wow. So Toby, we were just talking about you a little bit while you were getting ready there. Vanderpool construction. I'll be honest with you. When I think of Vanderpool construction, I still remember when I used to ride up from Sheraton with my grandpa in the county truck. He used to drive a county truck. He'd come up and get rock or come up and get something, and we'd always see Vanderpool construction when we're coming through Indianola, and that's the earliest days I remember it. And then when you were talking with me here a couple weeks ago, and you'd mentioned that it'd been 70 years now that your family's been in business with Vanderpool construction.
Yep.
That is amazing.
Do you know where the construction company was?
I don't.
How many years ago? Okay.
No.
Our company started in what was it, 55, something like that, and it was at the farm, the family farm, so out there west of Indianola, 92.
Yep. This would have been in the early to middle 80s.
Okay.
When I'd be riding.
That would have still been at the farm.
Would it? Yep. So, but
I'd have been running around out there.
Then I remember seeing you at the motocross tracks with Cade when he was little, and the farm and everything. And can you just tell us a little bit about your venture on how Vanderpool got started? Kind of, we know you're in Indianola, but fourth generation, I think you told me.
Yep, fourth generation. I'm third. Conan and I are third. My sister and my brother-in-law, Justin and Peterson, they're my partners, so they're third generation as well. Back in the day, my grandpa Cliff started with a dump truck, I believe. Little single axle gas, carried like 4 or 5 tons. Would literally go get rock over a Winterset and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I've heard some stories that my dad would drive that truck, not even of age, and would drive that truck back and forth to Winterset. and Grandpa, which Grandpa died before I was born. His name was Cliff Vanderpool, and he bought. I always heard it was the first Case 580 in Iowa, which I don't think that's true, but it's fun to tell people that. It's a loader backhoe. Back then, didn't even have ROPS. Didn't have a cab, no heat, no air conditioning, two-wheel drive. Had a PTO up on the back so the backhoe would work, that kind of thing. Just crazy. So, as Indianola started growing, we were one of the very few companies that did that kind of work in town. So, years have passed, and my grandpa died in like '68. My dad and my uncle Craig worked together for many years, and Craig died before I was born. I was born in '71. The company, like I said, just started off at the farm, growing as new houses were being built and new farmers needing outbuildings and septic systems and water lines. This Indianola started growing with Bob Downey doing some subdivision work with new streets and houses. We started growing and putting in all the sanitary sewer with services, water main with services, as well as storm sewer and services to all those lots. We continued the dump trucking, doing mass excavation, digging the basements, backfilling the foundations, and there it went. We do a lot of farm work. I've been saying it lately, no job too small, no job too big. And if we're available, we'll tell you we're an honest company. We don't like to tell people that we're going to be there on that day. We're not going to be there till a week or two later. We like to tell people.
Well, we see your trucks everywhere.
Yeah. It's crazy. You're busy for 8 hours and then you have a short day once in a while. So they do get around. We got a lot of trucks going.
Yeah, we see your big flatbed, pulling the big equipment, and then we see your dump trucks all over, and your service guys running around, at the trucks. We see them every day, it seems like. So it's a good thing to see them out there working, obviously. So
I have a lot of very good, talented people that are loyal to us, and couldn't do it without them. Yeah, very important.
So Toby, we see you guys. You've obviously got your hands full every day at work with going different directions and everything. And somehow it seems like everywhere I go in the community, I see Vanderpool construction involved with all the community, not just the projects, but whether it be Little League or at the ball field or at the, the county fair. It just seems like Vanderpool construction is always there for the community.
We try to help out. Yep.
So that's very cool.
Very much part of the fair, from 4-H to, whatever events going on there, we try to help and support.
Yep. And then I know the boys, Cade and Alec, they're out there racing with us. I see them traveling to nationals quite a bit and working. And then how do you find time to run that? Looks like I see almost a duplicate truck right behind you there of your pulling truck, isn't it?
Yep.
How do you find the time? I know that's not always close for you, but I know I got to see you win the state fair when the first time the polls are back to the state fair, which is pretty cool.
Yep. That was a life goal of mine when I was state fair, and I got it done. Yep.
Yeah.
Finding time, I feel really guilty when I'm gone, but when I'm a phone call away, today's age with cell phones, I started at the company with a pager, and I think only 2 people in the company had a cell phone. So think of the changes just in construction through cell phones. We had to communicate. We had to meet early in the morning, drinking coffee, and plan where everyone was going every day. We did have some 2-way radios on some of the trucks, so we could communicate that way. Forgot about that.
Yep. So you guys ever sit back with all the stuff you got going on and say, write down little notes or something to put them in a little thing and bury it. What do you call that? The little treasure.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that's changed for you in 70 years, and where it's going to be in another 70 years,
I don't think I'd ever believe it trying to wait 70 years from now what they'll be doing. Remote control, who knows? Autonomous.
Yeah.
A lot of our vehicles now, we've got them set up with GPS and hands-free control and stuff, but that's usually just on the minute finesse kind of stuff. Otherwise, it's all manual by the operators. But
yeah. I've seen some neat commercials of yours or little YouTube videos. You guys out cracking cans or doing stuff, fun with the showing the talents of the guys you got out there running those machinery.
Yeah, we had some skid loader races and Christmas trees, and I don't know what all. We've had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They pick out different guys with different ideas, and they get to go do those things. And it entertains us. Gets a lot of people to thinking about us.
Yeah. So I know over the years and stuff, you got your work and the kids are working now and stuff out of school, but we got 2 of them running the AA class. We've watched them move up from what I think the junior class, if I remember right, all the way up to the AA.
Yep.
Cade picked up a championship there, 2 years ago? Yeah.
Or longer.
Yeah. But
you would know that better than me.
Yeah. Alex has been really close. It seems like he's always had something bite him to keep him just out of it, But we see your whole family there at different times watching and supporting each other. And,
that's Mom and Dad will go. Ann and JP will go with Ben. Remember Ben Peterson, my nephew? He raced them.
Yeah.
But I'm super proud of my boys. There's some new talent out there that they've got some skills and some speed that might be hard to reach, but they better know that Cade and Alec are going to be right there if they make a mistake. My boys will not give up, and I love that. That's kind of the thing that my dad taught me, is just to dig deep and hang in there, and no matter what, just keep going. And the other thing they've learned is the mechanic part of it. If something's failed on the bike, seems like they can. I mean, a broken chain at the BNCC didn't help there a few weeks ago, but with Cade. But did you see that one pro motocross over there a few weeks ago, Supercross?
Yeah.
Can't remember who that was. And he got off his bike and had no idea that it was just a broken chain to come off the sprocket. All he had to do was haul it back on.
Unbelievable.
But yeah.
I
just want to say a special thanks to all you guys from Highway TV, everyone from crew workers to the ladies trailer, to Chris, all you guys. I know what an effort it takes. We could not do the racing that we enjoy without you guys. Everything you guys do. It's a lot.
Toby, I didn't talk to you about this before, but on this podcast, we don't give Chris any credit.
Oh.
Yeah.
You didn't send me the memo on that one.
Yeah, sorry. That's just a general rule. Every time we give him credit, he starts talking about his Prius and stuff like that. And we just
we can be talking about Prius.
Yeah. But I appreciate it. All the other girls, they definitely deserve it. So
yeah.
It's like I get a new flame with every compliment on my Prius, right?
Yeah.
Like 50 miles a gallon with the Prius? Or is it all electric?
I don't have one. It's been a joke all year long that Andy has been running with, but I don't have a Prius. Yeah. I think my smallest vehicle is a little Ford Bronco. That's about it.
Yep.
But we're still looking for that Prius, aren't we?
You are. So. Yeah. I mean, I can't thank you enough, Toby. You're kind of one of those quiet behind the scenes. You're always there, always got a smile on your face, always saying hello at the races, but can't thank you enough. You sponsored the series for many, many years. The series wouldn't exist without sponsors like yourself stepping up and just making sure that we're all at the end of the day having a good time, and we appreciate that.
Yep. There is a lot of people in the pits that will come up, and I don't expect that, but it feels really good getting a thank you. Just the recognition, it's huge. So, yeah.
I'll never forget, Toby, when I walked in your office that day. I don't know what I was doing. I was giving you something. I can't remember, but the first thing you did was show me a letter you got from, I believe it was Peyton Shear.
Yep.
Sent you that letter thanking it. And yeah, we sure appreciate the
I've got one right here from Coulter Smalley with the 50 Pro Series champion.
Oh,
very nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Appreciate that, Coulter Smalley family and everyone. That means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
These days, taking the time to do that is with cell phones and the texting and everything that does it. To me, it means a lot, because I think if you're taking the time to do that and do it right, it means something, So I always feel bad, Toby, when it's kind of like doing that. It's like when I look at that and that friend I haven't talked to for a while and I see it's his birthday. So I wish him happy birthday because the phone tells me it's his happy birthday, but I honestly forgot, So on something like that, it's easy to text, but boy, you take the time and do it, it just sticks out, and I sure appreciate it. So, But Toby, we got you back on this year. You're going to be sponsoring the Trenton race, our very first race this year again. I know everybody's looking forward to it. And it's one of those things we can't wait to be the one to put that Vanderpool banner up, and definitely say thank you for everything that you guys do. And I know some of the times you can't be there, you're going in many different directions, but the boys are over there. And like I said, we just can't thank you and your family for not only doing what you do for us, but for the sport and for the whole community. And just kind of seems like you just kind of set the standards for the way a company should be ran. And you're just there for people, and it's very appreciated.
Good. Thank you.
So
I'm planning on being there. Trenton.
Cool.
Coon Creek.
Coon Creek. Yep. Yep. I wish we were a little closer, and I'd hire you, Toby, to bring some rock down there, because we need rock. but
That's a long drive back in there, isn't it?
It is. Yes, it is.
It's a lot better than what it used to be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The person
I'd like to know how some of those big haulers get back in there.
Oh, my. Yeah. We've been lucky, really, that, when we used to go there, it was definitely muddy once, but since then it's been pretty good. But, and you'll know this a lot better than I do, but I think one of the biggest problems is nobody's ever there. So that ground never gets driven on,
Mm-hmm.
It's, the more we can drive on it, the better I think it's going to set up, so, but Toby, we sure appreciate it. I know you're busy. You probably got more stuff going on tonight. So we want to thank you for coming on and talk to us a little bit. And please go back and thank the whole Toby or the whole Vanderpool construction business for telling we definitely notice what they're doing, and we appreciate it all. So,
okay.
So, all righty.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Chris.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Toby.
Toby.
When's our next guest? Is it coming up pretty soon, isn't it?
Yep, I was trying to get him on a little. Speaking of the devil, here, without further ado, we'll bring on Aiden.
What's up?
Welcome.
What's up?
Hey, Aiden, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Look,
Good.
Aiden's even got a tie loop hat. I just want to point this out.
Got
I
that.
I didn't want to wear mine tonight, Aiden, make him feel bad. So, what's that sign above you say, Aiden?
It doesn't matter where you come from. This is where you're surrounded by love. You are wanted and deeply loved. You're not alone. This is home, and it's right where you belong. It's a sign my dad has.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Mm-hmm. I can just see the belong there, so that's why I was trying to figure out. But Aiden, when I called you, I know I gave you plenty of preparation to be on here. You had what, at least 3 or 4 hours, didn't you?
Yep.
It's about normal.
About normal, yeah. Yeah, it might have been a little early, actually.
Yeah. It's my dad's fault, actually.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't think you're going to be available, did he?
Mm-mm.
Thought you had some other media stuff going on tonight, didn't he?
Uh-huh.
So I know you were probably wondering why am I coming on there? Well, you've been with us for quite a while racing. I remember you were in the stock 50s, I think it was. Went up to 50 productions, and you've worked your way all the way up there. And last year you were in the schoolboy class.
Yes, sir.
And end up winning the schoolboy class. And I don't know if you've seen this or you felt it. I think you probably did. I know you've always had confidence, but boy, the last year, I know we talked about this at the banquet. It just seemed like you just popped. It's like everything just came to, man, you must have grown a foot, but yourself, it sure seemed like. I know you're taller than me, aren't you?
Yeah. Taller than Chris, too.
I think he was taller than you, Andy, when he was on the 50.
Okay, that's probably right. But I don't know what it was. Maybe you know, but when you went to that last schoolboy deal and you've been traveling GNCC, putting a lot of time in, and to me, it almost is kind of like, I don't even know how to put it, but just that extra time, all of a sudden, it just started clicking for you. I mean, you've been a rocket. You know what I mean? Won that class. And what class did you tell us you're going to this year?
I'm going to run A class this year.
A class. So just keep that straight. You've never ran in the B or A or anything. You've went straight from schoolboy on a hybrid, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. All the way going straight to A class. And I want to I know you and Jaden Jones, my grandson, you two ride together all the time. And known each other for a long time. And Jaden couldn't be on tonight, but he came back after being gone for 6 years, racing in youth, missed all the bigger youth classes, and he's going to A also with you. Oh. So does that help with you two training together?
I mean, yeah, like when we're out riding, we just always want to see who's better. So might as well move up where all the competition is. And just only way to get faster.
Well, and that's the number one reason right now that I definitely want to talk to you. Obviously, tell you congratulations. You're doing a heck of a job. Not that you weren't before, but just like, you see that big step, and it's like you took that final step and you're just blossoming now. But where I want to really give you guys props is, it's funny because if you sit back and listen to people, you hear people talking about the sandbaggers all the time, and the guys that just want to go to a class where they know they can win type situation, and then we get, a couple young lads like you two, and you guys are making these huge jumps where some people might run from the competition just trying to get that plaque. I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping you're probably hoping to make a championship, but in my mind, I'm thinking these two aren't even worried about championship. They're just literally going to race. They want to race the best. And man, I can't take my hat off enough to you two. Really kind of setting the standard out there and showing these guys that, man, it's, if you stay in one spot, you're going to stay there all the time, and you're trying to get up there and race the fast guys to make yourself faster. And who knows if you're going to win a race or if you're going to win them all, but I think you're going to blow people away as far as people maybe overlooking because you're jumping that. I think you're going to fit in and do really well. But like I said, I just get that thing all the time about the sandbaggers, and I'm going to go run this class. And, and we see it because, there may not be enough guys in that class or gals, or, just maybe a staying stagnant, I guess, and even guys that's won championships still do it, and to see you, I know you won a lot of championships, and now jumping all the way to A class. Like I said, I wish we had some kind of a thing here that like gave clappings, you know what I mean? Like some kind of a
sound effect type of deal.
Sound effect thing to give you a round of applause, but I don't think we have it.
Are you saying I'm slacking over here?
I don't think I said that at all.
You want?
Oh yeah.
Looky there. Yeah. No, so what made you, I've kind of put words in your mouth, I guess, with me just yakking here, but what really made you take that big of a jump?
Well, I mean, like everybody else really has their own agenda of like what class they want to go to, but I want to race the fastest pretty much and just want to hang with the competition, and that's the only way to get faster. Just run with the people up there.
Yep, absolutely. You know, my
Now,
son always says it's not winning; it's a process of getting there. You know, and when you don't worry about the wins, you just worry about that process. The wins will start coming. You know, and I feel like that's kind of the agenda you're on as well. It seems like so. And it's nice to have someone to tag along with you that you know, with like Jaden and you two training. And it's like, I'm sure you can look at that number and say, I'm going to beat him today. And he's pulling you some days. I'll bet there's days that you're going to be pulling him, kind of keeping each other when maybe you don't feel like it. I'm not going to let him beat me, So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What'd you have, Chris?
Yeah.
I was just going to ask him, what's he going to be running this year? What kind of machine?
Honda TRX 450.
450. Yep.
Gotcha.
Chris used to race a 400.
Yeah.
That was 20 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, what kind of sponsors do you currently have, Aiden?
Too many. Not really too many.
I'm throwing you out there. You got 3 hours to prepare for this.
I'll bet I know one.
Ty Lube right here.
Yeah.
X brand. Of course, my dad and Papa are always working on the machine. Con Ag Tech. All Balls Racing. Cycra. Moose Racing. Fast Company like the Flex Bars. CHR Tire and Auto. Alba Racing. Again, Ty Lube. HMF, Pro Graphics for my graphics, Hauser Racing, Tire Splines, and Van Wall.
Very cool. Yeah. You didn't get those overnight, did you?
No. Thanks for my dad standing here. Just telling me all of them.
That's been a long process to putting the years and the time in to get that many sponsors, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And how old are you now?
I just turned 16 this January.
Just turned 16. What grade you in?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore. Gotcha. So you're kind of young for your age, your class, aren't you?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Yep.
I've had some guys text me what class I'm running.
Yep. Oh, that's really cool, man. That's
got some young ones. You got Jace Tomlinson's going to be back in A class. He's 17, if I remember right. Yeah, got 3 of you young, and then you got also the other side of the spectrum. You got Joe Lutz that's going to return back in A class as well.
Is he? Yeah.
And
there's quite a few of the B guys moving up in there.
Yeah.
I thought there was a bunch of them.
Carter Christensen's going to be in the class. Dylan Howard, Gary Eads, Joshua Shoemake is jumping up to A class.
I heard Gary Eads is going AA.
Is that what you're trying to push?
I just heard that.
St. John Briggs will also be in the A class, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
It's a good number of guys, a lot of competition there. So
yeah.
So Chris, what's your if you think back to Aiden's been with us a long time, what's your memory of Aiden? What's one thing you can remember with Aiden?
I remember you and I last year, like I was like the kids, because you can tell when, my favorite class is the 90 stock class.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is the class where you can tell that a kid gets it. The kid starts out in the 90 class with the 90s being the shifters. Some of them don't know how to shift, but after a couple of years of them being in that class, you can start seeing the shifting. You can start seeing it being a little bit smoother. And you and I talked last year about Aiden. I'm like, it really to both of us, it clicked last year. It seemed like you really took off.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of see it this year with Colt Brandt. I think it's that extra time in the seat, as they say, that you guys are getting more of that seat time and hands-on experience out there with GNCC, and it's helping transition over to our series.
Yeah.
So
I'm surprised you didn't say me going into the pond in Murray a couple of years ago.
That's what mine was. That's what I was going to say.
I wasn't going there.
Oh, Aiden will never forget that one, I don't think.
No.
That was
Just remember, Aiden, I didn't bring that up. It
wasn't me. Aiden brought it up. I was going to bring it up though. So, what was that? Like the second or third lap?
I think it was the first lap actually, because I pulled the whole shot and then came over the pond dam, and then it was been raining all day, and I just slid right into it.
I just remember getting down there, and you were just getting pulled out of there. I was like, "Oh my!" You took right off though, didn't you?
Yeah, I went from first to last, and I think I made it back up to third that day.
Gotcha. Huh.
Yep.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, Aiden, I know you went to a lot of the GNCC, so we're going to start there. What is your favorite track of GNCC that you've been to?
Oh God, I'd probably say snowshoe.
That was going to be my guess for him.
Is there one of the races that you would say that if you're going to go to one, you've got to go to this one?
Yeah, it's a whole nother animal.
Yeah. Is it just as hard getting there and getting out as it is actual racing?
When we get there early on like Thursday, so it's not as packed. But if the first year when we got there on Friday and it was packed, cars on the side of the road from the shuttle buses going up back and forth, and just car tow mirrors just blew off since the buses don't care. Just take your mirror right off.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Huh. So you go down to what, Howard's Holes and all that?
I've been there once, and that was last year.
Yeah. Are you going back?
I don't know. We'll see.
How far a walk is that when you're just watching?
I think it's like 3 miles down in there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Around there.
Huh. Crazy. Okay, so now you've raced Iowa for many, many years. What's been your
10th year, 11th? Something like that.
So what's your favorite track of the Iowa series?
I got to hand it to Weldon last year. I really liked it. That and Cahokia flowed pretty well too. I like them too.
Nice getting some new blood.
Yeah, but I'm still kind of a Mount Pleasant type of guy. I've always liked it.
That's interesting because lately, and I think it's guys that's been there several times, but I probably had 4 or 5 guys that, man, I just can't stand that track. I always have troubles. But it's interesting you say that and you race the GNCCs. One, I think that track's getting widened out a little bit now,
Yeah.
But that track has everything. You've got to be ready for the challenges thrown against you when you go down there. So, and it usually seems like heat is always an issue down there too.
Yeah.
So it's nice having that pond afterwards, isn't it?
I don't really go down there. We usually
really
back home.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool. So if you had to pick one racer that you looked up to or look up to, who would that be?
Adam McGill.
Adam McGill. Now, why do you said that really quick? So what stands out about Adam?
Just a fan favorite. He goes down to the starting line for the youth starts, GNCC, and talks to the kids, which I really like that. Because sometimes when I get at the races early, I always get down and tell the kids good luck. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I hear people say that all the time, but I don't think they say it enough. That's a lot of the pros just don't take that time. They're focused on their own program, and he does seem to have a little bit of fun going down there, and really helps with everybody. So that's cool. So anything else? Anything stick out with racing that is kind of like your fix? The thing that you just really miss, or is it just the racing itself?
The battles mostly. I like neck to neck, bar to bar, just racing.
Yep. Now, do you like more of the tight stuff or do you like more of the wider stuff?
I like the tight stuff. Make it more technical.
Yep.
So as a veteran, you said what, 10, 11 years?
Something like that. I've been racing since I was 4.
Yeah, since you're in diapers, you've been racing with us.
Yeah.
What's some advice that you might give a newer guy or one of the younger guys in the series?
Just have fun with it. Pretty much.
Just have fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said about that, though.
Mm-hmm.
I know, especially the new guys, but I think it works just the same. But I guess the older guys, they get so caught up in points, and just worrying about points that they it becomes a job and not as much fun, and I think when we see a guy having fun, it's kind of like you are right now. You're just, just blossoming, you're just taking off, and it really shows. So definitely put the work in, put the time in, it's nice to see it. So how's Aiden coming through scoring, Chris?
I've got hit in the head once, and that was on a 125, I think.
We're not talking about scoring.
We're not talking about scoring.
Warren's not quite ready. It's been a busy week, but it's not quite ready.
Isn't that what you always hear at the races too, Aiden?
Yeah.
We're always waiting on scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. It's funny how we're always ready at the starting line, aren't we? We're just sitting there waiting on stretching, waiting on not Chris necessarily, but scoring.
Mm-hmm.
It's been busy.
So did you get your rider questionnaire done?
Yep.
You did. Nice job. Doesn't that make it a lot easier getting signed up and stuff, having all that?
My dad says all it is, but
yeah.
Nice. It's nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming on. I think you kind of thanked your sponsors already, but is there anybody else you'd like to thank or something?
Yeah.
I guess my grandpa and my dad for just always believing in me and just working on my quads since I just rebuilt a motor like a couple weeks ago.
Ooh.
For the practice bike.
I was just getting ready to ask you, so do you have a practice then in a main race too?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so which one do you take GNCC in? Is that your main one also?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Wasn't sure. So
unless it's broke.
Yeah. Mm. And what are they, the 0405 or the newer ones?
I think one's 06 and the other one 08.
Okay. Yep. So very cool.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you got, Aiden?
No. Thank you guys for having me on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. With all that heads up, I know you had. So
yeah,
cool. Next time we want a speech, so get it ready.
Okay.
Hey, once again, I know I've said a lot, talked about this, but again, thank you for kind of setting that bar, and telling people, it's not guaranteed what I can do, but I'm gonna chase it nevertheless, and and trying to be the best you can and race those guys, not be scared of competition. So it's pretty cool. So good job out of you.
Thank you.
Okay, no, one question.
What's up?
First race. Who's gonna win between you and Jaden? And do you guys have like a side bet? Like, I gotta wash your quad, or you gotta.
It's mostly just bragging rights, but last year his battery box fell out at Trenton, and then my chain came on falling off, so it'll be one to tell.
Yeah, dude, it's just glad I see all you guys little videos you put out, and I think that just makes racing so much more fun when you got somebody to challenge you and push you, and stuff like that. I mean, even at the races, we try to be the best we can, but with our scoring system, it's one of those things that just we got to keep getting ourselves better, so kind of pushes us. So all right, Aiden, thanks, man. Thanks for taking the time, and good luck in a week from now. Are you going racing this weekend?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Yep. Pump the brakes a little bit before we go. Points, right? Yep. All right, man. We'll look forward to seeing you on the box at Trenton.
Hopefully. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Aiden.
Good job.
Right, thank you.
All right, buddy. Got a lot of people sitting on here waiting for the news, but kind of want to take some housekeeping real quick.
Yeah.
I know last week we didn't really talk about the AMA. I know we're going to get into discussion here shortly about AMA, but your wife did make a Facebook post out there about the annual minor release form. I threw it out there in comments and both on Facebook and on the YouTube. Your minor parent, go out there and fill out that minor release. You can print it out tonight when you fill it out and have it available for the first race. That helps Tracy out and as the other Tracy Green, Tracy Kiner, and also Tina. Also, I mentioned last week, tonight was the last night that I will take any questionnaire for the first race. So if you do not have a questionnaire filled out tonight, you will be filling out an entry form at the first race. I just can't keep going out there and keep pulling all the data as we need, counting down those final hours to get what we have to get done behind the scenes. Congratulations to those that have pre-registered. What I see, 41 people have pre-registered. That is awesome. Like totally paid, all ready to go 100%. All I got to basically do is bring up that helmet so we can do a good spot check on it. Might take a little bit more time, just to forewarn everybody. First race, we're pretty much going to have all new barcodes ready for everyone. So first race, if you're pre-registered and paid online, just give us a little leeway. We're going to put new stuff on your helmet, make sure everything's okay. Look at that transponder as well. Second round, though, if that helmet looks good, just stopping in, saying hello, confirming that you're at the race, and that's it for if you pay and do all that stuff online. Can't thank Zach enough and Sabrina behind the scenes. They have made this possible for all of us to pay and get this through and have a seamless transaction as far as registration at the races. So
speaking,
that's all I had, buddy.
Speaking of Zach, real quick, while you're thanking them, he just sent me a message confirming this, and he's correct. If you want to pre-register for the race, it must be done by 5:00 next Thursday.
Yep, we'll shut it off. And that shut off is a hard shut off because everything is printed. We'll print it out. I do all that stuff behind the scenes. Work with Tracy. Make sure everybody's accounted for and entered. We just can't be doing that at the track. We understand. Also, I had a comment this week about paying for the whole race or paying for the whole year. If you want to pay for the whole year, that's something I would contact Tracy on. Otherwise, feel free to go out there and knock out 7 entries or each round real quick if you want to do it that way.
Yeah, and we've had people do that in the past, and you're exactly right. The best way is just call and get a hold of Trace, message me, and I can get you with her if nothing else. But she can get you taken care of for sure. So there's been a lot of guys, gals, that's been lucky and has a sponsor want to help them or just want to get it all out, over with in the beginning and do that. We've seen that several times. So that's definitely an option. So,
yeah.
The one thing I wanted to say about that registration, last year is when you started that deal with having people fill out the form and going in and putting all their information in.
Yep.
And it made it so slick. I heard so many good things about that. But then I was looking through my phone and I just happened to come across the first race last year. And I seen that line. I took pictures of that line. That's something we never have for some reason. It's always seems like our lines for registering, there seems to be a lot of people there, but it's not because they got to wait a long time. It's so they're having fun. They're chit-chatting and talking. And I looked at that picture. I wish I would have sent it to you to have you put it up and why you should pre-register. But man, there was a line last year that must have went 50, 60 feet out at that very first race. And, I don't see this side of scoring, but especially registration, but just to make sure everybody understands that first race, if they haven't filled it out, there's a lot of paperwork for them to do. But now those 2 or 3 girls in there got to put that much more work in that one single day than they do the rest of the year because they've got to get all that put in. They've got to go through, I might have switched from a Honda to a Yamaha from B class to A class. There's just so many changes. I might have moved. I might have got married, and that's one thing I was seeing. I don't know if you want to talk about that either, but in the pre-registration, or was it the questionnaire, we were getting a lot of people only putting like one name in, like Bryce, and not the last name, and such.
I have 160 questionnaires that were roughly filled out between the adults, kids, and UTVs. Probably a handful of adults were not filled out correctly. I'm going to be nice enough. I'm going to fill out and print out what we have for those. But if they're not actually filled out or got a complete address, we shouldn't be accepting those. So we'll be nice the first race and fix what we can for everybody. Yeah, and just kind of work through. I think this process works, but we all have to do our part. Also, to help speed up the process for first race, AMAs. So you filled out the questionnaire. We have your AMA numbers, kind of like Santa, checking his list, making sure everybody's got a valid AMA card. So if you know that card's going to expire first race, maybe even second race, go ahead and start the process of renewing it. You can do it through AMA. What is that? AmericanMotorcyclist.com. And go ahead and start the renewal process. If you do it online, just print out your receipt and we'll get you taken care of at registration as well. Because that does slow down the process. We only have like 2 or 3 books, and it takes a while for you to fill out that AMA card.
Yep, and that's where that big line comes from, that first race is. But boy, you can sure shorten that by putting that information out there early and getting that done.
Yep.
So, yep, I think is that all your stuff then?
Yeah, from a storing aspect. Yep.
Gotcha.
We got to briefly talk about the track, right? We're going to run it backwards. We've had probably about 30 people joined us in the last 20 minutes or so. So just kind of recap those that are joining us. Talk about the track. We're going to run it backwards. Got Andy and the guys are going to go down and work on the track this weekend. Yeah.
We'll arrow and do all that kind of stuff the weekend of the race. But this weekend's about getting from the storms, getting all the trees cleaned off the track and getting everything figured out for us, laid out. So, yeah, but basically running that track backwards, depending on the weather. They've had more rain than we've had, but I think it'll be okay. So, I think right now we're calling for rain on Monday. And then I think it's nice the rest of the week, but I probably stop looking from now on just because I get too caught up in it. So, but
yes.
But all right, my turn.
The floor is yours, buddy. Take a breath.
This is going to be a hard one. So I'm going to start out because when I get done with this, you're going to think different of what I think. Okay. But Chris, we've been doing this for a long time. This is our 22nd year running this series.
Yes.
I have said many, many, many times. And I'm not knocking anybody. If you want to run a series that's not AMA, so be it. That's your opinion. My opinion is I will not run one that's not AMA sanctioned, just because I know the difference. I know how it protects the people, the riders. It guarantees, the competition level. It's a sanction that goes clear across the country. Now, not everybody is, but it tells you where you should be. And there's places guys might go and race and say, oh, shoot, I'm only C class, but I can win the overall at this series, and they come back and they think, well, I should be in the C. Well, there's a big push right now, especially through AMA if you run C class here, then you're going to run C class, over in Joe's series, or vice versa. Trying to keep everybody on that same playing field. Even though the competition may not be the same in each series or national series, but I feel like our guys do a great job of doing that. We see a lot of guys that go to GNCC and other places and they'll go and run like a C class or something when they run an A class with their normal series. So, but hey, that's on a different deal. Tonight I got 2 main things to talk about, and I'm going to take my punishment when I talk about this stuff because I should just hang up right now and not even say a word. But
let's start from the beginning. You got a phone call about what?
Well, I'm not even on that one yet. I'm gonna throw this one out because I just had another phone call. Some guys already know about this, but I just want everybody to know where we stand on this. And that's with AMA. I love them. I think they're great. There's definitely a necessity. I won't do it without them. For 22 years, I've really never had an argument with them. Well, that's out the window now. I've had too many phone calls, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but the only thing I can say is I'm highly pissed off. And I'm pissed off at situations, and I want people to know my stance on it because that's what we're going to take. But we've had situation where GNCC has allowed a 15-year-old to race in an amateur class. And so I got involved and I asked the questions because, hey, that affects, I'm going to use example. I remember last year, Dan Llewellyn asked me if his daughter could race in the junior class on her 300. She was 15 at the time. I said no, because you got to be 16. But then I followed up with a phone call and I was told, no, she can't because you got to be 16. That question's been asked. If I said 200 times in 22 years, I guarantee that's a light number, because we've always got the next fastest person. We've got the next girl, whatever it might be. But the rule's always been 16 years old. So it came up again, a situation this year. The answer was no, you can't. At the end of last year, I should say. Now in the short course, like the Heartland race, it's a little different, okay, because they don't pertain to your skill level. It doesn't affect your skill level in like hare scrambles, if you go to GNCC or another AMA sanction. But with that being said, this year I got news that they're allowing number one, that GNCC started that class with moving our 450 down to a 400 and be able to race, which I thought was the greatest thing since sliced bread and ATV racing, Well, then they outlawed it and said, no, I guess you can't use it. But now they're letting a gal use it. No disrespect to this gal. She's obviously really, really fast. But just a situation. But they're allowing the gal to use it now. And she's only 15 and she's racing in the WXC class. And again, no disrespect to her at all. But how many times, whether it be a boy or a girl, has asked to run a 450 at the age of 14 or 15, and couldn't, or even run a 300 or 400, in that class and been said, absolutely not. First thing is you must be 16. Well, that was allowed to be ran in the first two races. There's several conversations with AMA asking about that and trying to decide what I tell our people now, if that's truly the case. And I was told that GNCC could run that because they changed their supplemental rules. Well, GNCC's rules and AMA rules shouldn't be any different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But after a big question this and just want no answers, I'm not arguing about the girl. I'm arguing about the situation and what we've been told several times. Then all of a sudden we get these supplemental rules actually come out the day before the Talladega race. Supposedly the rules that they've always been allowed to do wasn't even put out there to people until the day before. So that's 2 or 3 races into it while they're letting this happen. And I'll be quite frank, it made me feel like a liar to our people, because when we call and ask, we're told one thing and then GNCC gets told another thing. And I'm not pissed off at GNCC. Again, I'm only focused on one thing, and that's AMA. I should ask AMA. I should be able to find out every rule. I should be able to ask every question, and get a clear answer. And right now it's about clear as mud. But today we got another phone call that I wasn't happy with at all. I got a hold of AMA. I got clarification from them. So I'm going to tell you the exact clarification I got. So when it comes to asking, it is up to the promoter. They are now allowing not a male, only a female, to run a 400 in what would be considered, I guess, our women's class, like they're allowing GNCC to right now. So if we do get that person that we feel like can race there, and I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to be very hard to prove that to me, because we've had several fast people and never been able to do it. There's one thing that I would like to see, and that is from our parents of the girls, not the women's class, but the girls, and see if they want a girls class, say next year, for girls, whether it be a 12 to 15 or, you know what I mean?
So like a mid-range. So kind of like a junior class, but for girls.
Yeah, I want to see if they really want it. And I'm going to put my perspective out there. And if you're a parent of a daughter, you can take this the wrong way. I'm being straight up honest. It's the same thing I've always said. If I had a girl, I would not be asking for that. You can go anywhere you want. I know there's a lot of places that have that, and that's great if you're just trying to get a plaque, you're trying to get a win because there's somebody else not there. But if you come to our series and you go to any of our youth classes, you can see there's been podiums with girls 1, 2, 3. There's podiums with 1, 2, and then a male on third. You know, they're racing against everybody. We're not deciding between you're the fastest girl. We got some of the girls are the fastest people out there, period. And I don't think I should limit them to where they can go. Now you're always going to get that 1 or 2 that want to race. Oh, there's only one person here, so I'm going to go race over there because I can get a jacket. You're buying a jacket. You're not earning a jacket. I'm sorry to interfere with anybody that thinks that. That's just not the way it is. But anyway, I would kind of like to know, over this next year, if they want a girls class, if they think that there needs to be a girls class and they shouldn't be racing with boys. I don't see it that way. That's my opinion, but I want to see it. I don't like the situation that now AMA has started saying that a guy can't go up there, but a girl can. I don't like that at all. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right that we allow one person to do it and not the rest of them. I use Walker Fowler as an example. I watched him when he was 14, 15 years old and couldn't race a 450. I haven't seen anybody, just my personal opinion, I haven't seen anybody at that age faster than he was at that age, but he didn't get to go do this. So I know times change and everything, but so if you see some of those rules that are out there, and please get a hold of me if you want. I always check with AMA. I've always preached AMA. It's becoming a situation now that I feel like I've just got to do my due diligence. First time I've ever had an argument with them. Tonight was the second one. The second one's really got me upset, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. God dang, I got to try to keep this PG because I'm not happy. I'm going to read the message that we got. If you're a side-by-side person, take a seat right now.
So kind of give some background here, Andy, for those that maybe don't know. Like, we have separate insurance, correct? We have AMA insurance, and that's why everybody that races on an ATV has to be an AMA member.
Correct.
UTVs are a little bit different insurance, and it's not through the AMA. So therefore, AMA's membership is not required. Right?
Correct.
Just to make that clear and throw this out there.
Yep.
Okay.
I really wanted to read word for word here. I thought she'd sent it to me. I'm looking for it right now just to make sure. We try to do every. Oh, here it is. Okay. So we try to do everything by the book. Okay. And obviously we don't make everybody happy doing that, but that's the only fair way to do it. So what did you just say? Sorry, I was looking at this. What was that last thing you mentioned? I went blank there.
I was just recapping that the insurance is different between ATVs
correct.
and
Yes,
UTVs.
Okay.
And yeah.
So we have done it the exact same way since somebody could probably tell me out there. I'm going to say around
2008.
No, 2008, we raced the night before.
Oh.
Yep. And then we switched it. I can't remember what year it was, but we've raced that way every time since because it's only smart to run on one day. Okay. Insurance, ambulance, everything, it doesn't pay. So anyway, when we switch that over, we've done it the same way every single time. Okay. Now, here's the message that we get tonight. We had something going today. Didn't see it till this evening. I'm sorry. It looks like it was sent at 10:45 this morning, and we didn't see it till I don't know what time it was, 4:30 or something.
4:30-ish.
Yeah. But anyway, this is from our insurance company to my wife, and it says, "I first want to confirm that you are not running UTVs on the same day as an AMA sanctioned activities. This is against AMA rules and regulations, which would result in no coverage being in place. So immediately we get on the phone, and I got to give them credit. They picked up the phone at their home and talked to me about this. And I'm sorry, the last part of this does say, as long as you are running a standalone UTV event, we can endorse to your current policy. Okay. So I get a hold of, when I hear that, I hear it's an AMA deal. So I get hold of my AMA and I said, look, we've been doing the same thing for how long? Why is this coming up now? Well, supposedly, and I always say supposedly on this, I'm learning, there was a bulletin sent out in 2016 saying that you couldn't do it. Now, ironically, if you ask me, that's probably about the same time that GNCC quit doing it. So then it became it's okay to do it that way. I don't know. Sorry, I'm probably going to go off here and I shouldn't, but so they're saying that some little tiny bulletin went out, should have told us, instead of communicating the million times that we've talked to them about doing this, about doing a million other things. Instead, we find out 1 week before that we're supposed to be at the track that we can't do this. Now, part of this over here is what I've been telling everybody. The insurance is saying this because of stuff that they're seeing, the stupid stuff. And, you know, you can blame it on the next person, but everybody's probably guilty of it. Not everybody, but a lot. And that's posting crap from your GoPros and stuff like that. If you want to get on these forums and you want to be the one to get out there and cry about somebody hitting you or somebody pushing you or somebody doing this or any extracurricular stuff, that's the stuff that these insurance companies are looking around and seeing. I'm not saying that's happening just in our sport, in our series, but it happens in everywhere. When there's wrecks shown, they have these pro hills made. And these pro hills, we see them rolling back or someone getting hit. You know, that might be interesting and give it a second click, but it takes one click on the insurance companies to see that crap. And there ain't nobody can look me in the eyes and can't say that I haven't preached this story for the last probably 3, 4, 5 years about this. You know, we don't run helmet cams on the ATVs. I wish everybody could, but I wish they could and learn from it and watch and didn't have to show every stupid thing that happened. And I know I'm probably going off again, and I apologize for being that way, but
let's reel you back in. So what's the dilemma here, Andy?
Yeah, so we are set in a situation right now 1 week before. Yeah. We cannot run our side-by-sides on the same day as our ATVs. So I asked this question. So when do I have to run them? After I found out I wasn't getting them I asked them to call to give us a waiver so we can get stuff figured out, but at least for the first race, nothing would be granted. AMA did call our insurance company. They talked. They both got back to us and let us know that, no, this cannot happen. Not even one time. It never should have been happening. Doesn't make any sense because we know that we've been talking about this. We've set it up. We put diagrams out to them, showing them the tracks, la-di-da-di-da. So a week before, we cannot run our side-by-sides. We cannot stay on our same schedule that we are on. For me to sit here and tell you what's going to happen, I have absolutely no idea what that is going to be. In the hour, 2 hours here that we had to think about this, we just ran down to the track tonight. Be honest with you, I left my billfold down there. I lost it sometime last Sunday. We went down trying to find it. And the whole time, we probably didn't do a very good job because we're both upset about this news that we're getting a week before. So on the way back, we were sitting there talking. I was trying to call some of the guys real quick before we could get on here. I don't know. I really don't know. I can only imagine what they're feeling like right now, but this is not us. You can give me the blame. I don't know what's going to happen the first race. I don't know what's going to happen after that. We're definitely going to be making more phone calls. I can tell you the questions I asked just to see what the options were. And the options were this. We could race them on Friday or Friday evening, but we literally cannot allow anybody into the event until the side-by-sides are done racing. No spectators, not even in the pits. It's absolutely ridiculous. So we know that's probably not going to work because I can't I can't allow a race for, 15 to 20 people and keep another 200 people out from getting there on Friday night, right? Yeah. So we can't race on Saturday. So Sunday's the only option. So do we race on, say, 10 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock, a 1 hour race on Sunday? Let me explain this. That 1 hour race, that's approximately, I'm just going to guess here about, I'm just going to guess about $900, $800 to $900 for insurance. for 1 hour the next day.
Yeah.
That's going to mean getting an ambulance there, paying probably a minimum of 2 hours just for the ambulance there for the 1 race, for the 1 hour race. It's just absolutely crazy what they've thrown at us. We've been busting our butts for the last 3 weekends making the trails for this. We never imagined. I've never heard an issue with anything of ours when it comes to side-by-sides, not doing anything, them seeing something that shouldn't have been done. We had this thing pop up through, I don't think it was this insurance company. It was a different one that we were with at the time. If you remember, several years ago in the Heartland Challenge, they wanted us to put snow fence up all the way around the inside of the track, the 8 miles, and all around the outsides. That's 16 miles of fencing they wanted us to put up. And that was told to us literally the day before. That was a Thursday that we were told that. So not happy at all. We're playing in kind of a hornet's nest here. I just trying to let everybody know what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to try to get this thing worked out. I will tell you right now, there's absolutely no way I can afford, to spend, $1,200 and keep all the people there, depending on if the scores, the registration, if any of that people can even be there on Sunday, it's a lot of changes to make. So I'm not here to tell you what we're doing. I might get a million suggestions. Trust me, we're looking into everything right now, but I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight if I didn't at least tell people what is going on, what we're up against. Our back is up against the wall. We're going to figure something out. Hey, let's be honest. The series is one thing. We might be able to do it on a Sunday morning. I don't know. I don't even know if anybody would want to race on Sunday morning. We can look at that. But the other thing is I asked them the same thing. They say they didn't know what we were doing the same day. Well, then how do you figure or it can't even be during the event? Well, how do you figure that you didn't know about the Heartland Challenge? You know what I mean? Give me a break. You don't know that. So the Heartland Challenge is up and, how we're going to do that right now. I don't know. I really don't know. The state fair.
We talked about the state fair, in our brief time before we went on. We just don't know how it's going to work out.
And I'm throwing everything out there. And again, I'm liable to get crucified by AMA or insurance, state fair. Who knows? The state fair don't even know about this yet. But the state fair, just to be honest, when they came to me about putting a race on, it was about putting on a side-by-side race. I'm the only reason that we have ATVs because I'm forced to we're not going to do it unless we can have ATVs. Well, now we got what? 18, 13, 15, something like that. 8 ATV classes that consist of 190 plus entries. Yeah. And we have on the average from probably 10 to 15.
Yeah. You're about right.
10 to 15 side-by-sides that we have in 3 different classes. So I'm not sitting here telling you we shouldn't be doing it or we should be doing it. I said this many times, and anybody outside the series wants to comment, let them comment. But everybody inside our series knows that I've said that it doesn't make sense to run side-by-sides with 20 people there, But I much rather having about that amount. It's amount that we can work with and don't tear things up too bad. And I love them. And, our people love them. I think if we could do anything, we'd all want to go race one, So this isn't about us wanting to do something different, We're the only ones around that do ATV and side-by-side only on 4-wheel, not dirt bikes. And the reason we do only those two and only have ever done those two, we put ATVs in only at 2004, 2008, when they came out with the very first Razor, 800. They came out with it. I believe it was on like a week later, we came out and had a race at Fort Dodge. We put them in immediately and have had them in the whole time, So this is something that we believe in. We don't want it to die. We want to keep it going. But now it's like they're really cutting us off, telling us what we can do on this insurance thing. And I remember last year at Murray, I tried to talk to everybody and say, hey, and at that point, there's nothing they could have done. They could have changed everything the way they do it. But, the damage is done and it's what's happening. We're seeing this across the country right now with it being hard to get insurance. The AMA thing's probably making it even harder, saying that they can't. It's not that they can't. If you're a non-AMA sanctioned event, and you want to get the insurance and stuff, can you run them the same day? Absolutely. If your insurance will allow you. Right now, I guess I better say make sure they know that's the same day. Or if you run 2 different days, maybe you can do that too. I don't know. But I believe in the insurance big time of being through AMA because of stuff that we've seen several times over. And I don't know that I'm the guy that can do it without having AMA insurance. So what we're looking into right now is, again, our insurance has said that they will cover it. And they are the same insurance that AMA is certifying to be good enough to have, but to tell us that we can't do it during AMA sanctioned event, that makes it really, really tough. So we're looking at this. I know we got a race in a week. People are going to say, well, we need to know. Trust me, I need to know. I don't know what I can do. My hands are tied. We want to be able to do this. So I don't know. We'll be making more phone calls tomorrow. Trying to find more stuff out. I will give updates as soon as we can. The only thing that I know for sure right now is the fact that we cannot go the same day like we have in the past. So we got a lot of stuff figured out. We got time to get the state fair. We got time to get the Heartland worked out, figure if we can do something there. But as far as that first series race, we don't know what's going to happen there yet. So we'll get the team together, try to figure out if we can make it work a different way. But I'm just going to tell you guys, if it's not about the money, but I cannot afford to lose, a couple grand or $1,000, every single time, plus have the track crew when they really don't want to be there because they got family stuff going on. I mean, if you think about that first race, that Sunday's Easter. Yeah. So everything's tough. I don't know what we're going to do yet. It's horrible news. I'm obviously pissed off at the situation that this would come up, right before it. Not sure why or how but it is what it is. The ATV thing is 100% go for everything. We will be talking with the fair as early as maybe even tonight, but probably tomorrow, trying to get this thing figured out. And we will keep everybody updated just ASAP, but you just don't know where that's going. So, yep.
So Joe just threw out this asking if they'll know for sure. Yes, as soon as we have, enough information to share, I'm sure Andy, you'll do another Facebook Live, just as you did tonight, keeping everybody informed on what we can do or what our options are. We'll let everybody know.
Yeah, I just picked up, Chris, this is how bad it is. Before we got that message, actually, I take it back. When we got back in the car from picking up, we had these special arrows made this year, right?
Yep.
We just got over 6,000 arrows we just picked up tonight. Okay, all of our new arrows. And we get all these and all the UTV arrows and all this stuff, and then we find this out. It's like we've been working on the one. I mean, it's just silly. I could make it sound like poor me. It's not. It's poor us if this, the way this keeps coming down. So no matter what, I will keep everybody updated, even if it's a getting on here, maybe a Facebook or a post saying, hey, we haven't heard anything yet, I will be honest with you, as close as we are, I'm super, super scared about that first race. I will tell everybody right now, the very first thing that pops in my head, if we can't get this thing worked out, is to be working on that second race and just not have them that first race. And I hate to say that, but that's the first thing that pops in my head is this is going to take that's a week from today that we're down there working with this stuff, Yeah. So I hope to heck that, you know what I mean, that we can get it figured out by then, but we will let people know, especially over the weekend, what it's looking like. I don't have, if we could get enough side-by-sides and this does happen, I wouldn't have a problem doing a side-by-side only event, whether it's a hare scramble, whether it's a race. We actually have an offer right now to do I'm not saying an offer, we're in discussions about having a ATV side-by-side race at another location, that would be one to remember. And stuff like that would love to do, but that's stuff that we got to know ahead of time so we can get planned out and worked in that schedule. It's a really rough schedule this year. And I don't know. It's thrown us a loop. We've got sponsors that are there for the side-by-sides. There's just so many people affected by this. The only thing that I can do is be 100% open with everybody and honest. And then as the time goes on, let them know. And if we get too close to where we can't get something figured out by that first race, we may not end up having the race for the side-by-sides in that first race. And that kills me to say that, but we're going to do everything we can to get this thing straightened out. I'll be definitely in conversations with the insurance tomorrow. That first race is, we don't get a lot of people staying, overnight. But it's still, I don't know. It's a tough, I'm going to go around in circles, start mumbling here, but it just, no, I go, it's tough. I don't know what to say. I just, like I said, I want to be honest. I want to be transparent with everybody.
I think that everybody, you've explained the situation. Our hands are tied at this point until we can get some more information. Maybe get some stuff clarified for everyone. Everybody has to appreciate, and I appreciate those that are still on here. It's one of the most watched podcasts so far that, your honesty is there. You didn't want to do this, or none of us want to be put in this situation. But I think that we have to just communicate, and everybody has to have an understanding. Not likely going to have an answer by noon tomorrow. It's probably going to something that's going to take multiple phone calls to try to get fixed for round one. And like you said, it may not happen. So people need to be prepared for that. That will give you plenty of time or plenty of notice, so you don't travel if that it comes to that, to round one, and be honest and upfront with everybody. And your transparency tonight shows you care, and I think everybody's going to understand that.
Yeah, so we'll see, but I guess it is what it is till we can get something figured out. But like I said, I'll keep everybody updated. I don't know. We'll see. So
other questions popped up about the Kid 90 classes. Based on the information I have, I'm going to keep the classes the same. So we'll have 90 stock 8-9-year-olds, and then also the 90 stock 10 to 14-year-olds.
Gotcha. Yep.
That's a question from Kyle there. The split's about even. Last I looked, about 11 in each class, maybe 12. So it supports the keeping it the same this year.
Gotcha. All right, Chris. Well,
I know, buddy.
It's tough.
Yep.
That's all I got for the night.
I don't see any too much as far as I got questions for a link. You can talk for a second, Andy, and I'll go grab something real quick.
Yeah, I ain't got much to say. Everything I've got. But no, I guess just going back to that, I have no idea what we're going to do. I think I'll get a hold of Toby here, talk to him probably yet tonight, maybe. Talk to him a little bit about that and see, but it's one of those things I don't know. So one of the questions that just came up I seen was about maybe having two different promoters for the same event. And, that would be, I guess, what you'd call an easy fix, except that you have to have everybody out of there that's there for AMA race to clear them out and bring the next ones in,
Yeah.
So
it's all logistics. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no spectators. We've seen another, I think we just talked about the last podcast. I'd just seen that series, I forget what series it was, just had the same thing where they could literally have nobody in the facility now. that's a spectator. Only the racers could be in there. And it's getting crazy. And it's the insurance is going to kill it. I hate to say that. We're doing everything we can. But, you try to go after sponsors. Sponsors hears that there's only going to be 20, 30 racers, it's getting tough. There's a lot of big events coming up. The cross country stuff is getting the toughest. It really is. I mean, you tell me another big cross country event. There's really not. The Heartland Challenge is the biggest cross country challenge or, side by side event there is. You go to, your short course and your desert and stuff like that, and there's a lot of big events and that kind of stuff. But cross country, it's going away, and it's because of insurance and nothing else. But for everybody that, wants to complain about the insurance, I got to turn around and say, look in the mirror, man. I mean, look how many people that has posted stuff and, and done stuff or gotten on forums and talked about how bad this was or, and showed a wreck how bad it is. That's what people are looking at and making their decisions off of that. So we're fighting that game right now. And that's 100% of it, guaranteed. Mm-hmm. So, yep. But.
All right, buddy. Don't be too down on yourself. I know you.
So, did you have something else you were trying to find then?
Oh, I was just getting some numbers here. Paula wanted the questionnaires reposted, so I posted those in the comments. Tonight is the last night for the questionnaire because I got to do my behind-the-scenes work, getting everything ready for that first race.
Yep.
Super, super happy with the 41 people that registered off the website. Awesome job.
Have you been getting any? I haven't seen much response. I've seen a couple that had some issues. We got that fixed. And then I've had some that came on and just said that they absolutely love it. It's really easy. Have you heard any more lately about that?
I just been getting a message about the questionnaire. People wanting confirmation that I've received it. I haven't heard anything major about the website, but it's going good.
Good.
I foresee it. We'll move towards the website full registration next year.
Very nice.
So,
all right, Bob.
All right. Good news about the state fair. We've gotten it moving along, right? Kind of give it a quick update. We're working on the registration piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we've gotten the clearance. So we're going to move forward with that so people can register early.
But we will have the event, I'm sure, but we have to pump the brakes, and get decided on, what we can do for sure. So
we'll get that clarified.
Yep, exactly. So,
Heartland as well is moving along. That website is awesome. I think we even have a first registration, and people are already registering for the Heartland. So
yeah, exactly.
So good.
Yep.
Good one. Super excited. So yeah.
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Well, just bigger step forward.
Yep.
So.
Well, and then don't forget, next week we won't be doing the podcast because I'll be at the track hopefully on Wednesday. So I'll do a couple Facebook lives on those, letting people know about the track and everything, and keep everybody updated. I'll try to do one each night if it works out.
Yeah, and just to recap, let's talk. You mentioned how soft it was. So this race, if we can maybe get away from the bigger rigs, right?
Yeah, definitely don't want to bring your biggest rig in there. That's for sure. We know the driveway. We put rock in there all the time. It disappears. It's probably going to be something that we start investing in, some big rock put down, get a base going, but we just always try to do it to get people in and out. It's a single lane, so be patient. I don't know if it's ever caused a problem, maybe 1 or 2 cars, but usually people are all coming in and then leaving at the same time. But Yeah, you definitely don't want to bring your biggest trailer. If there's any race at all that you're going to come for the day and leave, this would be the one that I would do it, unfortunately. But yeah.
Ground's going to be a little soft. We do have some parking for the bigger rigs, but if you don't have to, don't bring it. Yeah. Otherwise, just maybe keep an eye out for you or one of the other guys to kind of point people in the right direction to park, so nobody gets stuck this year.
Yep. So.
Yeah, registration's going to be in the same spot, I believe. Scoring's going to be in the same spot as last year.
Correct.
So right there, convenient for everybody off the pits.
Yep. So. Yep. I seen that question about our UTVs getting new transponders as well.
We're only going to look and see if a transponder is bad, and that's the only way. We don't want to just give out the transponders aren't cheap. So if it's just on a needed basis, we'll replace transponders.
Gotcha.
More or less, it's going to be the actual backup scoring barcodes, the ones that are on each side of the helmet for ATV guys. Got your name, class, number for backup scoring, and then also UTVs will put them on the roll cage above the driver and the passenger.
Gotcha. How many transponders are going to be on each UTV?
There better only be one.
Exactly. Yep.
No.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Well, you have a good evening.
Super excited. I'm going to go work on some paperwork real quick here for pre-registrations. So
I'm going to go wrap my head around a pole for a while. Try to, I don't know. So, all right, man. Well, I appreciate it. And sorry to the UTV guys. We're still working on it. Please stand by. And again, just want to let everybody know. So, but hey, on a great note, thanks to Toby Vanderpool and Vanderpool Construction for doing everything they do. Again, not just for our sport, but the whole community and, and everything. So great people, and love seeing them young ones come and say, sandbaggers, let's go, man. I want to race the best, and that's awesome seeing that. So future's bright in that spect. That's for sure.
Yeah. If you want to hear a good one, what did I see? What would that be? Edmondson jumping up to AA.
Oh, from schoolboy class, right? Yeah.
Schoolboy class to AA.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. And hey, I know we got to go here, but since you brought that up, I guarantee I'll have at least one person this year said he shouldn't be able to do that. Well, that's a kid we've watched race for a long, long time. He's racing with College A and GNCC right now. Yes, he can do that. That kid's fast. He's proven himself.
Yep.
That's not a thing. It's the age thing was the only thing holding him back for moving up there. So, have no problem with that at all. Not all of them. I would just go out on a limb and say we would allow to do that. But his lap times and watching him at GNCC right now in their College A's, that's proven that he can definitely run with those guys. So that's awesome seeing that. Once again, those young guys, we get people stuck in their rut saying, hey, I don't want to do this, or looking for a class that might be easy to win, but they should go home with these juniors, senior guy, and the 16-year-olds and say, how do you do this?
Yeah.
Test yourself, push yourself. So, yep. But anyway,
all right.
So,
yep. All right, buddy. We'll see you for sure next weekend.
Sounds good.
All right. Take care.
All right. See you, Chris. Bye.